So happy Makar Sankranti, happy Pongal.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Mataji, thank you to Mataji and Vijay Prabhu and Krishna. Wonderful. So it was such an auspicious week and she has asked all the Mataji to dress so traditionally.
Yeah.
So really grateful for
Thank you so much to all.
Thank you so much, Vijay Prabhu and Bino Mataji. And yeah. So today the presentation, like last time I think we saw Peter Lakshmi Prabhu.
Yeah.
He did a wonderful presentation on show. So Tejas Prabhu, who's been in our congregation more than 10-15 years along with Rashmi Mataji, wonderful devotees, wonderful kids, so he's going to present our atomic habits, and this is about doing devotional service in very small baby steps and qualitative manner that has the impact. He's going to refer to Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, wonderful. Prabhu was really committed the whole week. He was absorbed in it and he's going to present. So Tejas Prabhu, over to you.
That's amazing.
కృష్ణ దగ్గర కూర్చో వినా ఏం పెట్టారు
Hare Krishna.
Oh,
Can you?
light on Jada.
Yes, sir. Excellent. We keep the mic closer. Keep the mic closer. Is it better now? Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this evening. I'm not qualified to give this presentation. I'm nowhere near any of the devotees that actually give presentations in Bhakti Vimsha. It just so happened that Ms. Radha asked me if I could give this presentation and gave me an opportunity. And my approach is whenever Krishna gives me an opportunity, I don't want to miss that opportunity. It also gives me a chance to study more. When I'm presenting to other people, I need to study more as well. So in that approach, I want to give this presentation. So what we try to do is, Radha Prabhu gave me a good idea. I do read a lot of books which are materialistic in nature, such as Atomic Habits. It could be like, there are other New York Times bestseller books. So there are some aspects that we can borrow to enhance our quality of bhakti. So with that approach, I try to put together some concepts which I learned from other books to help us improve our habits, our practices and things like that. So atomic acts of devotion. How small acts become eternal law. So the point here is how we can take baby steps in order to improve any aspect of our lives. But this presentation is going to be focused on improving our devotional services, devotional practices. I've taken primarily the concepts of Krishna consciousness, and I've also taken the concepts of atomic habits, which is, again, as I mentioned, it is a New York Times bestseller. A quick disclaimer, today's presentation is not about explaining who Krishna is. For those of us who are new, this presentation doesn't do justice to explain who Krishna is or eternal relationship the soul has with him. Those truths are the heart of bhakti and they are deeply sacred. Our focus today is more practical. We will look at how small, consistent practices help us live Krishna conscious in our daily lives. So I hope you take it in that spirit. So before we jump into practices, it is good to just think about what is the goal of bhakti? Bhakti does not mean to pray for temporary material benefits. When I was growing up in India, I used to see, when going to high school or even primary school or whatever, there was a temple near the school. Whenever during the exam time, there used to be a big crowd. Everybody is like praying to God. I'm like, all these material people, they don't, I don't know what can, only during exam time you need to go to the temple. That doesn't make any sense. I didn't do that. But college was different. College was hard, so even I did that. I don't know if that worked or not, but now if I discussed it about my own showing up in a temple only during the exam time, that was not good. But anyway, so bhakti does not mean that. Bhakti does not mean to pray for temporary material happiness, more wealth, better health, family, bigger houses, etc. Yes, we can still ask for all those things, but that is not the goal of bhakti. So what is the goal really? The goal is pure love or prema. The ultimate goal of Shuddha Bhakti or pure devotional service, which is defined as service to Krishna, and that is unmotivated, not done for material gain, health, or even liberation. Uninterrupted. It's like a continuous flow of consciousness towards God, like oil pouring from one jar to another. So here there is a Srimad Bhagavatam verse that I want to present. Savai Pumsham Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Alokshaje Ahaituki Aparitahata Yayatma Suprasidasi. The supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. How do we achieve bhakti? The Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition clearly emphasizes 9 methods of devotional service listed in Srimad Bhagavatam. That is Shravana, hearing, Kirtanam, chanting, Smaranam, remembering, Padasevanam, that is serving the feet, practical service, which is often interpreted as serving the community or the temple, Archanam, which is worship, Vandanam, praying, Dasyam, servitude, Sakhyam, friendship, and Atmanivedana, one's total surrender. Surrender means giving one's whole self, body, mind, and soul to God. So what is Krishna consciousness then? The way that we define Krishna consciousness, or rather it is defined Krishna consciousness that we study, is centering our consciousness on Lord Krishna and leading a life according to his teachings as mentioned in the sacred texts such as Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, etc. It involves activities such as chanting, studying scriptures, following regulative principles, and eating prasadam, that is sanctified food. So Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, says, simply we have to desire to please him and not desire anything for ourselves. Then we become simply instruments for his will. This is the important essence of Krishna consciousness. What is the difficulty? Life gets in the way of our great aspirations. So I can go ahead and list all my aspirations, and that is attend the Mangalarti at 4:30 in the morning, chant the holy name for 16 good rounds, daily DD Seva, read scriptures, serve in the temple, cook for Krishna, write for Krishna, distribute books, learn shlokas, distribute prasadam and Tulsi Seva. I do all of these on a daily basis. No, I don't. Those are the aspirations. So that doesn't work that way. I'm not even able to do a little bit of this. So that's why we need atomic habits. So what are atomic habits? To give you a little bit of a context, Atomic Habits is a book by James Clear about building good habits, breaking bad ones, by focusing on tiny incremental changes. Those are atomic habits, tiny incremental changes, that compound over time, leading to remarkable results. This happens by shifting your identity and not just your goals through a practical framework called the four laws of behavioral change, and that's what we are going to look at. So the core of atomic habits, what does it mean? I'm just going to simplify it. These are micro habits. Atomic means small but powerful. Make it small, too small to fail. To give you an example, if you are not able to chant 16 rounds, maybe 8 rounds, maybe 4 rounds, maybe 1 round, whatever that you are able to do, minimum, so that you don't fail at it. And this is for the beginners. Of course, like people who are initiated, they are already in an advanced stage. Those people who are already chanting 16 rounds, maybe you can apply this to some other aspect of the bhakti that you are planning on improving. It could be as a reading, it could be devotee association, it could be many other things. Politics. Prabhu is being humble with that. He is saying politics chanting. He already knows politics chanting, I'm sure. So 1% improvement. So what I found really interesting is, before I read this book, I was not aware of this. A 1% improvement every day leads to a massive growth over time. 37 times in a year. So if you go to an Excel spreadsheet and give 1.01, that's 1% improvement, and then you compound it over 365 days, it is 3700%. So it's not double, it's not 4 times, it's 37 times you become better. But doing that is tough, but we can aspire for it. Now, the third part of the atomic habits is systems. Goals matter, but systems matter more. Like for example, winners and losers have the same goals. The difference lies in the systems they follow daily. Now, atomic habits in Krishna consciousness, what is the insight? Atomic habit says we do not rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems, whatever system is set up. That is the bare minimum. That's where we fall. In Krishna consciousness, we do not stay devotees because of emotion. Emotion might carry us to somewhere. We stay devotees because of practices and association, like the way that we are meeting today, devotee association. So we stay devotees because of the practices and association. Let's talk a little bit about outcome-based habits. For a long time, we always thought that our behavior is driven by the outcomes. On 1st of January, most of us, they think that we want to be very healthy. So what does healthy mean? Okay, let's lose 20 pounds. For me, it's 20 pounds. For some others, it's like 5 pounds per day. So outcome is, okay, what we want to achieve. It's the, as you can see, the arrow goes up. So the base is like we have an outcome, lose 20 pounds. And the process is eat healthy and exercise. So these things are going to yield results. And in the process, our identity changes. I become a fit person. That's the normal way of thinking. But there is a problem with that approach. Why outcome-based change fails? Because we feel deprived. For the first 3-4 days, our motivation is very high. The 5th or 6th day, you look at the sweets somebody brings in, and like maybe 1 or 2 sweets should be okay. And then the next day, anyway, I ate sweets yesterday, so let me not exercise today. The whole week is gone anyway. Next week I'll start Monday again. So Monday goes. So you feel deprived. You feel that you're resisting your true self. At one point, you're fighting. We are fighting ourselves. What is the point even? Like, why are you going to do it? Somebody else suggesting, I don't think I should be doing it. So we have this internal dialogue with ourselves. And the moment goal is achieved, behavior often reverts. So for example, even if you put all the efforts and achieve that, lose those 20 pounds, next day we go to an ice cream parlor and celebrate, and the whole thing goes down. So let's think about it in a reverse way. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? Ask, who do I want to become? So that is the identity that we are targeting. So identity-based habits, according to Atomic Habits, principle is identity-based habits is the one that we should be targeting. So here we are targeting the identity. Identify as a devotee of Krishna who has surrendered to Krishna and loves Krishna. I'm talking about the number one there. We are going top down. So if we target the identity and change the identity, the process of chanting, doing kirtan, eating prasadam, and any other principles of being a devotee, that becomes easier. And the outcome is going back to Godhead. That becomes a possibility. Now there is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 19.170. Sarvopadi vinirmutam parattvena nirvalam rishikeshena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is free from all material designations, and one's senses are purified simply by being employed in the service of the Lord. So that is the identity of the devotee. So let's talk a little bit more about identity in Bhakti. To start off with, what does the Atomic Habits say? It says identity is built by repeated actions. Every vote, every workout is a vote for I'm an athlete. So you're changing your identity. Every page read is equal to a vote for I'm a reader. You're not just trying to read, you're trying to target your identity. Every calm response is a vote for I am a composed reader. You do not need perfection. You need consistency of votes day after day, even if it is a small step. So Prabhupada talks about this in Krishna consciousness. Says we do not declare I'm a devotee. Krishna accepts whatever we repeatedly serve. Every chanting, every reading of the scriptures, consumption of prasadam offered to Krishna, every step is a vote towards our identity transformation. To quote an example, Sudama's offering to Krishna. Most of us know the Krishna story. Just to recollect, Krishna and Sudama were childhood friends who studied together, bound by deep affection rather than wealth of status. Sudama lived in extreme poverty but carried an unwavering devotion and humility in his heart. When he visited Krishna, he brought a small offering of puffed rice, given lovingly by his wife. Krishna welcomed Sudama with great joy, honoring his devotion rather than his material condition. Without Sudama asking for anything, Krishna blessed him with prosperity, teaching that pure friendship and devotion are valued above everything else. So Sudama did not come with a lot of interesting presents. He did not try to impress Krishna. He came with just a small offering of puffed rice. And Krishna took that and honored Sudama. So the essence is that every small step towards Krishna, towards devotion, is powerful, is effective. As I mentioned, Srila Prabhupada said about Bhagavad Gita 6.47, Los Angeles in 1969. Krishna consciousness does not mean that one simply says I'm Krishna conscious. Krishna consciousness means practical life. Whatever you do it for Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. Then how do we develop this habit of consistently doing it every day? There is something called as a habit loop according to Atomic Habits. We start off with the right top end, which says you perform a habit. Example, I'm giving an example of chanting. Duration is not important for beginners. If you have never chanted or if you have chanted sometimes or off and on, duration is not important. Commitment to quantity is. So if you are going to chant even one round, do it on a consistent basis every day. What happens because of that? The next step, The habit provides evidence. Evidence of what? Evidence strengthens identity as a devotee. So you're changing your identity from being a person who chants to a devotee. Stronger identity makes habits easier. So more and more you're changing your identity, your habits become easier and easier. So then you tend to increase. And then that's how the habit loop increases your devotion. There is a verse from Bhagavad Gita which throws some light on this. Neha vikrama nasosti pratyavayo na vidyate swatam apasya dharmasya trayate nahato bhaya. Even the smallest act done sincerely for Krishna is never lost. It carries permanent spiritual value and continues to grow by Lord's grace, even if it is complete. Even if it's incomplete. So even if it's incomplete, it's not a loss. It keeps on building. So there are 4 laws of behavior change, which are the 4 pillars of atomic habits. The first is make it obvious. Like for example, habit stacking. One of the examples that I have given here is like chanting 4 rounds immediately after shower. So you already, I'm assuming that most of us take shower. So you just stack many things. Like in case if you want to chant early in the morning, as soon as you get up, you take shower, then you do chanting, or you chant as soon as you come back from work, if you are very tired, and then if that's the time that gives you satisfaction to chant, do 4 rounds of chanting, things like that. So put these habits together, habit stacking. An environment design. So environment design is to make things simpler. Design your house in such a way that it is easier for you to get into that mood. For example, have Krishna's pictures or pictures of Vrindavan. What I do is I keep Prabhupada's book at a place that is easy to read. So I think I've shared with some of us before. I have a book stand. You get a book reader stand where you can fix the book on the stand and it holds the pages so that you can read hands-free. So I really like reading on the Kindle, but the book stand is for physical books that you don't have on the Kindle. So the book is already there. It reduces the friction. So whenever I go to eat or take a break on the dining table, the book is there on the dining table. It's easier to read. So you reduce the friction. That's for me. For you, it may be something else. Keep the books in an easier place. Chanting beats in an easier place, in a place that is comfortable to sit for you to chant. So basically, environment design. Second point is make it attractive. Pair a habit that you need with a habit that you want. Like for example, if you like to go for walking, you can do japa. Devotee association where chanting is appreciated. So what we are doing now is like we are meeting, all of us are meeting, so it gives us a nice feeling to chant in a group sometimes. When we are doing kirtan, that's a form of chanting as well. So have association of people who appreciate that particular habit. Make it easy. That is, downscale the habits to a lower quantity. Make it too hard to make. In case if you see somebody doing 16 rounds and you do 16 rounds, the next day you do 0. You don't, some people continue from there. But if you're not able to do 16, don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just do 1. So maintain the consistency. The example that I've given is read 1 page of Prabhupada books. Or focus on action, not motivation. Don't listen to your mind, just start the action. There is another psychological phenomenon where there is inertia. So once you start something, it's difficult to stop. But it's difficult to start. So if you just say, okay, I'm going to now chant, I'm going to have to chant like 8 rounds now, maybe I'm going to feel hungry, I'm going to feel thirsty. Just start off and see where it goes. So if you just start, that will be the momentum. And then make it satisfying. So that's the 4th point. use habit trackers to visualize the progress. So, this is called gamifying. Especially parents who have children, we kind of gamify things to make it interesting. Like for example, I used to compete with if I had to get my daughter to go to shower, I used to compete that we just give 25 seconds, you have to take a shower in 25 seconds. So it used to be like 10 minutes, but just count slowly. So gamifying things. I'm talking about that make it interesting. Japa beats, counters, checklists, the tracking. Instead of Japa beats, if you want to do counters, if that's convenient, or checklists, tracking books, we have Goodreads. Sometimes some people, including myself, I make it a point to keep on updating whatever book that I'm reading. It's like a game that I play for myself. Anyway, so you can track books, you can track it in an Excel spreadsheet or Google sheet or whatever, and never miss twice. That's the point. Like one slip is accidental. Sometimes we may have some accident which we may slip once. But if you miss twice or more, then it's a new habit that you're forming of missing doing that. So try to get back as soon as possible. So these are the major pillars of atomic habits which we can try to use in order to improve our practices. To summarize, focus on who you want to become, not what you want to achieve. Small habits compound into extraordinary outcomes. Success is the product of daily systems, not dramatic effort. And habits shape identity, and identity shapes habits. Atomic habit. So the idea of all this is atomic habits cannot give us Krishna consciousness. That's completely different. But it can protect the space where Krishna consciousness can grow. So that's what I wanted to say. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. Or else I will disappear we can actually go through some of the questions. If you have questions, you can ask the questions. Otherwise, I am going to ask you questions.
I think in the initial slide you spoke about systems. Can you just brief on that?
So system, this one, right? So it's basically setting up the systems in the sense, like for me, if you want to do something, let's say for example, getting up and going to, let me give you an example. I mean, I don't want to hold a torch to the sun. So I'm going to give you a material example. I'm not going to give you a devotional example. So if you want to go to the gym or if you want to exercise, the system is to keep everything ready. Like for example, what I want to wear, your shoes. I don't know if you are going to carry a japa beads or whatever it is. Keep everything in one single place so that when you get up in the morning and you want to go to the gym or if you want to go on a walk, everything is ready. So you have less excuse to say, oh my God, who's going to search for it? I don't have that shirt of mine which I want to wear to go. So things like that. That is setting up of a system. In case if, for example, if you want to go to Sadhu Sangha, book the tickets right away. Yeah, register and book the tickets right away. So you're kind of committed. So there are different systems that you can come up with.
Basically planning.
It's planning, and in case if you are going to do something on it, if it is needed on a daily basis, plan in such a way that you have everything ready. And then again, like tracking and things like that. So there are different aspects of it. But it starts with planning. If you have a particular specific example that you want to discuss,
Say if I want to write
okay.
say some reflections or whatever. If I want to do it consistently every day. So the system would be like I have some things which really like something which attracts me. Basically one of the points is like whether you want to write it with a book and a pen or like you want to use electronics or something.
Yeah.
That is one of your systems.
Yes, it is a system. Yes.
And then like having, as you said, set a goal which is difficult to take.
Yes.
Maybe like few sentences,
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
And then you do it over a period of time. That is where the consistency comes into play. And then that few sentences can become few pages and things like that. Is that
Yeah.
what it is like?
That's exactly it. So you can decide when you want to write, what time gives you the best inspiration, what makes it comfortable. Maybe before anybody else gets up, that's the best time for me. Maybe it's different for you. When it is like I don't know, probably when it's close to work, whatever it is, it's up to you. There are people like, for example, AI, this Open AI's CEO. He has a specific pen that he likes to write his journals in. So he said that this is the best pen among all the pens. I've tried like hundreds of pens. This is the best pen for me. So you choose whatever that is best for you. The book, the pen, or pencil, or whatever it is. Or if you're going to do digitally, the app or on a computer or whatever it is, keep it ready in one single place so that when you think of it, there's no friction. You just have to go, sit there, and put down your thoughts. So there are also things that can help you. Like for example, for me, I write journals. I have 5 questions that I try to answer every day. Those 5 questions are at the top. So I just try to answer them. I don't do anything else. And then sometimes more creative ideas come and then you come. So it's something like that. Good for me. Yes. So I did not want to go very deep into that because I'm just introducing the topic and did not want to add a lot of things. But basically, what you're referring to is, in case if you are doing something, let's say you have set yourself that you want to read Prabhupada notes every morning, let's say 1 page. So you do that on a daily basis, and some days you read something nice that's like really you feel good. Some days things may not be as interesting, it may be like a little bit boring. At that time, there's a chance that you may feel like, let's instead of reading this book, okay, I've finished reading 1 page, let me just do some reels. You can pull out your phone and do some YouTube or reels or whatever. So that's counterproductive. So basically what you're doing is that in the morning when you are in that mood, you're building up something and you're also destroying it on the other side. The example that's given in the book is, okay, you go for a walk and then you come back and eat a cake. So it basically destroys it's counterproductive, as you mentioned. So he says don't do that. Do something that enhances the experience and not mess it up. So there are a couple of things. One thing is, if you're feeling distracted, the way that I would approach it is, I saw a significant difference in my own attention span when I tried to do this. So the same is the case. It's not just for students. All of us. We get distracted. I'm doing what? If at office, if I'm at home, I'm working on something, and then at some point I want to take a break. So you go into this, if you open a YouTube and then do reels, if it goes on and on, it's a never-ending thing. So it's basically counterproductive as per you mentioned, right? So what I try to do is keep a Kindle book. So read a book which will give you a slow release of serotonin. Serotonin is a happiness hormone. So it gives a slow release of serotonin when you read a book as compared to the quick dopamine hits that you get out of distraction. So in terms of distractions, they'll keep you busy, but they won't make you happy. The only way that things will make you will feel happy is by serotonin, and which is like either read a book or like something that you've been following. In case if you want to read Prabhupada books, you read Prabhupada books. In case if you are not there yet, you start off with something that is lighter, which starts the habit of reading. So I would recommend either a Kindle or a physical book that will bring down that need for dopamine hits. That's one thing. There's also a very good book called How to Be it's not related to Krishna consciousness, but there's also another book called How to Be a Great, I think it's like top student or something like that by what is his name? He's written a book called Deep Work.
Eat that frog. Eat that frog. How to eat that frog.
Eat That Frog is an older book. There's a newer book. It's particularly geared for students. How to be a top A student or something like that. I can give you that information. It's by this guy who has also written Deep Work and how to not get distracted and things like that. He's written good books for top students. I can share that. Yes, madam.
So, Prabhu, one of the habits that I want to make is like, getting up early in the morning. Getting up in the morning.
Yes.
So, I try, I do for some few days and then again it goes down, then up and down. So, you mentioned to break it into the small parts so that it's very hard to change.
Yes.
So this habit, what are the things that I can break it up to? Trying to change in the past.
Yes. So, for a long time, I'll share my experience with you maybe here. Because I'm not qualified enough to give you the solution. I'll show you, I'll tell you what I experienced. For a long time, I wanted to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Never happened. So I used to share this with many of my friends. I want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's not happening. People are like, why do you want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning? Right? Really? So, one thing that I realized was, the why. Why do you want to get up so early? Number one. You will have to create something that is, as I mentioned, couple something that you need, that is getting up in the morning, with something that you want to accomplish in the morning. If you are going for exercising in the morning, if it is not very helpful to you, if that is not inspiring you, do something else that is really inspiring you to get up in the morning. Now, if you are aiming for 4 o'clock in the morning, that is very difficult. Try to get up at 5 or 5:30 or 6 or whatever early as possible. But the real secret is, for getting up in the morning, you have to sleep early. So whatever we do, if you sleep at 11, unless you are a genius like Kshitij Prabhu, you cannot get up at 5 in the morning. So, I tried getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was able to consistently do that for about 2 weeks. And then, once again, my nights started getting longer because of different things, like, my parents were here and things like that. So that habit got started. So once again, I have to build it up. The main thing is sleep early. I think Radhavala Prabhu knows about it. He was sharing with me about it. So yeah, about 9:30 or 10 o'clock, whatever time is convenient, you sleep so that you get up early in the morning. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
This is my mind. One of our friends shared about tracking the ground So that is a nice idea. Because when I'm committed to it,
Absolutely.
so I'm putting my mind. Whatever the type of we can make it what the number of rounds we are committing and he should be entered every day. So these are one of the channels
Yeah. Yeah.
You can repeat what Martin said.
So what mother said was, today is the auspicious day, and for a long time she wanted to track her number of rounds that she's doing on a daily basis. So basically what she's saying is like, today we can start to come, we can commit to a particular number of days, a particular number of rounds every day, and then commit to it and then track it every day. One thing that is really helpful in that sense is, so I think it was a book called Learning How to Learn, where the author says that if you make it a little bit difficult there should be some friction there, for example like tracking especially, right? If you use a pen and a paper, you are more likely to actually stick to it rather than putting it on your phone or spreadsheet. So there should be some friction which actually inspires you, like the satisfaction of having checked off that thing. Yeah. So you're basically scared of everybody else. Accountability, yeah, accountability partner, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
One other video which came to my mind which goes in line with why is the Simon Sinek.
Yes. Starting point. Start with one. That's the
I
one.
was wondering when after class that, there's a video. Just watch it. Start. If you know your whys, then it is easier to do the house counting. So it just came to my mind.
Yeah. There's a beautiful video on YouTube called Start with Why. Yeah, you can take a look at that. It's very inspiring. So, in case if people don't have any other questions, maybe I'll pose one question to everybody who wants to take a stab at it. So let's just do one question. At least like four or five questions should be too consuming. What is one small devotional action you already do sometimes, but wish happened more naturally every day?
Getting up in the morning.
Anyone who's not spoken can probably take this opportunity. Yes.
So, I every day wake up and do some chanting. Yes. It's not exactly the answer that question, but I also want to do some pranayama. So I started from Hyderabad, started my whole work and all that, so the lunch course and everything. So I used to get up to say time and started doing pranayama while like the breathing and chanting together. So it's kind of like okay. But I'm imagining now whenever I sit down and start doing pranayama, instead of doing counting, I do chanting. So like I used to do 4 times and I used to chant 4 times.
Very nice.
In fact, since Martin brought up pranayama, and even in our books of japa meditation, it's so important to ground through breathing. Pranayama settles the mind, body. One of the very important thing to focus on japa is how you can be congruent with the mind, heart and body. So pranayam grounds, and then that helps to focus on the attentive grounds. So that's an excellent example. It's in one of our famous books called Living Name, where Maharaj Sachin Maharaj starts with the importance of pranayam and breathing.
Yes. Sachinananda. Would you like to share something?
So you can choose any of the four.
Yeah.
I think but easiest to go every day. And for me, I think I've been trying to focus on quality of Christianity. I think I shared this in the last podcast, how I want to personally chant from my heart. So that's something that's really hard for me. Because I'm able to just do like 20 few times. That's something that I can do, but I can't do the entire thing. At least my goal is, I think, having come up with a system and I'm consistently doing it. My goal is at least to stand one now with focus. The quality. For my 16 months.
You're competing with the kids, but
కళ్ళకి తాళం తీసుకుంటాం తాళం తీసుకుని సాంగ్
Prabhu will repeat. Prabhu will repeat.
yeah, I'll let you know.
So I go and visit Krishna on meetings and what they say or just say what my heart. I really want to develop that passion. I don't know
So Mataji, basically you're saying that you go in front of deities and you report to Krishna every day. Yeah, basically you have a conversation with you. And then you want to be more effective. Natural.
You already
Okay.
sometimes
Anyone else wants to share?
Your slide, Prabhu, and swipe up here. That must say. I want to go to the slide. On the same. Yeah, that's from Bhagavad Gita, which talks about even a little. Today, all the devotees, as you mentioned, they all come. So we may all forget. Some of us may forget that we attended, but Krishna will never ever forget that aspect. That today we came and heard about him and glorified him. So that merciful the Lord is. Just coming to a program and sitting, and having prasadam. So that's because the Lord also says, right? Patram pushpam phalam. Just give me a water or a fruit. So, and give me with love. So it's as simple, small atomic, right? He's not saying you can, of course, make 8 course.
Yes.
But if you can give a little water and fruit,
Absolutely.
yeah. So this verse is amazing. Thank you for your absorption.
Thank you. So next time we will get gifts for kids under 15 who are
Yeah.
sharing.
whoever
Anybody wants to give it a shot? Okay, good.
My big challenge whenever I do devotion is like I become lazy and I start working. So I have to chant 60 rounds a day, right? So like I have to go to school also as well by order. So I chant while I'm doing class and like while I'm going from one class to another. And like I don't get to focus on the class. And then I do my homework and stuff, so then I just procrastinate. And then once I get home, I'm like, I want to watch videos of my show. So I don't chant until like before I sleep.
Thank you.
What did Radhika say? We didn't hear.
So Radhika said that she chants 16 rounds, but overall it takes some effort because she's busy with many other things, school, and she procrastinates. Basically, that's the challenge that she's having. And I think she also mentioned that after coming from school she's tired. She wants to watch some videos and things like that. So that's the challenge that she's fighting for.
Radhika, she's so sincere. Her
Absolutely.
is outstanding. We'll see it after a few minutes.
She's an inspiration to my daughter.
Yes. All of us.
All of us. Like Krishna.
Yes.
We'll wind up.
Thank you so
If
much.
anybody wants, last, going last.
Last.
If anybody wants to share or answer any of these questions or going once, twice, okay, now please.
Second one, Prabhu, Aarti Prabhu, morning Aarti, evening Aarti. You can help them feel the Krishna essence.
Very nice, thank you. So basically, Vishwanath is saying that if she's answered the second question, where if someone stayed in our home for a few days, what devotional habit might help them feel Krishna is at the center? She does Aarti and the guests will see the Aarti and that's a part of the devotional service. Thank you very much for coming to this.
So, a big round of applause again for This was an amazing, very thoughtful presentation. Prabhupada very often says in his purports, saying that we need to